For fans of the Minnesota Vikings, there are plenty of things to be excited about for the 2023 season. Offensively, it's going to be a track meet. Can you keep up with our scoring power? We'll see. Year 2 of Kevin O'Connell's play calling, the addition of Jordan Addison, a full year of TJ Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson, he's going to get better. And then defensively, they will improve. How much better? I think to ask for a Zimmer-like turnaround. If you remember, in 2013, pre-Zim, the Vikings had the 31st ranked defense. Zim's first year as head coach, 2014, 14th ranked defense. That was incredible. I think to ask for a similar turnaround is a bit much. I'm going to say, because it can't possibly get any worse, 31st ranked defense last year. Technically, it could get worse, 32nd. That's not going to happen. I'm going to say 22nd ranked defense. That's an improvement nonetheless. Brian Flores, new defensive coordinator, it goes deeper than just his presence alone. Under Ed Donatel, the soft shell coverage set Hut, backpedal, 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 and wait for opportunities to come your way if they do. Brian Flores, he's intentional with creating pressure, multiple fronts, thus creating opportunities. And it goes beyond just the defense. Brian Flores, in a way, can help the offense as well. This quote by Christian Darrisaw via Sam Ekstrom says it all right here. Quote, "Those Flores looks, we weren't seeing those last year. And we'd kind of get into games and teams would run a certain defense and we were negatively affected. So because the offense routinely practices up against a Brian Flores-led defense, that should in turn help, ideally anyway, should help the offense better prepare for some of the better defenses in the league. Andrew Wiggins going from the Wolves to the Warriors, a big factor for their championship run last year. He wasn't a bust by any means in Minnesota, but did not live up to the expectations of being a former first overall pick. Gets over to Golden State, everything changes. Why? In part, yeah, you got to guard Steph Curry every practice, the greatest shooter of all time, but also the cardio gets challenged. Their offense is different from the rest of the league. Everybody has to run. You can't stand there. It's going to challenge you to get better. Culture is everything. Flores can have a similar type of impact, especially with these young players. The rookies, obviously, but especially the year 2 players, because their development, even when healthy, their development under Ed Donatel was a wash. He didn't do anything. All he did was collect checks. But for these year 2 players, they get a fresh start to their NFL careers. They're expected to contribute mightily for this defense in 2023. Let's start with Lewis Cine. First round pick last year, missed most of it after suffering that leg injury. He's back and should start next to Harrison Smith. And speaking of Hitman, it's expected that he'll go back to his free roaming ways, which is what this defense absolutely needs. So because of that, Cine will have big responsibilities. A lot of times, my guy, you're going to be the single high safety, the only help guy in coverage. Intelligence, instincts on top of athleticism is what you need. And in terms of athleticism, his Georgia tape shows that he can do that. His sideline to sideline game speed is incredible. And for Brian Asamoah, last year behind Eric Kendricks, now starting next to Jordan Hicks, he's the guy. And I know that Cine is a former first round pick. Asamoah, former third round pick out of Oklahoma. I'm telling you something right now. Brian Asamoah is the guy that I'm most excited about. He's an every down linebacker, especially in passing downs. That's where his true value lies. Man or zone coverage, it doesn't matter. He can send shockwaves with his play. It can be infectious for the rest of this defense. It would not shock me at all if at some point he ends up being a captain, but he's so explosive. And I'm going to give you a prediction. At some point in 2023, he will be on SportsCenter's top 10. He's that damn good. But linebackers coach Mike Saravo said of him, quote, "Brian Asamoah, man, what a gifted athlete. Brings unreal energy, just keeps getting reps in a new scheme. He's one of those chess pieces that you're going to see him all over the field. He could rush, he could drop, he can do a bunch of different things. He's athletic enough to play man coverage. Love his energy in the room every day. Still a young player you got to learn how to be a pro in this league, and he's doing a great job of that, taking on a new defensive staff and just running with it. He's been awesome." Asamoah, Cine, Booth, Evans, Mekhi Blackman, a lot of first and second year players to be relied upon, but the potential with the rebuild of this defense can be so great that you need the perfect conductor for this band, and Brian Flores is that man. And now we're going to go to comments. Skin says, this is the year everyone is set to perform for trade or extension, and there's no front runners this year. All I'm saying is look at the difference just O'Connell made. Let's see what Flores can do with Hunter. He has to work hard and not get injured for his last big contract. So it really depends on what Hunter wants to do this year. His current contract has him making just $5.5 million in 2023. He's not going to play on that deal, and rightfully so. If he's willing to renegotiate, say get a pay bump in 23 and have a phantom year, $5 million in 24, that way you can renegotiate, okay, fine. That gives you the option to say, okay, we're either going to give him that next big contract or we can trade him after having a monster year in 2023. However, if he's not willing to renegotiate and he wants that big contract right now before he steps foot on the field in a Vikings uniform for the 2023 season, you're either going to have to give it to him now or trade him. In that case, I would trade him, no doubt. Next comment is by Blurst Skull. I agree with you. Kirk is better, more consistent, more accurate, etc. In terms of rushing too, he's gotten better since 2018. I did read a thing though, and it said if Dante was a quarterback in 2023, he would be a lot better. His style was just more common today. I think projecting a flawed quarterback such as Culpepper, as good as he was, super turnover prone, and was really only good because of Randy Moss, projecting that type of player into today's league, this is how good he would have been, is a ridiculous exercise. You only do that. I would only do that for the best of the best players at their respective positions. Culpepper was not even diet. Culpepper was clearance rack Donovan McNabb. McNabb, besides the short stint he had with T.O., never had receivers and still went to 4 straight NFC championship games, a Super Bowl appearance, albeit that was the year with T.O. That's the quarterback that you want to go ahead and project. Let me guess. Culpepper is Josh Allen, just like Anthony Richardson. It's ridiculous. Lastly, DOD says, Culpepper took the Vikes to the championship game. Did he though? I mean, I know a game was technically played, 41-0. Was Culpepper even out there on the field when guys like Jason Sehorn was guarding Randy Moss? I've said it before and I'll say it again, man. High stakes playoff games, when secondaries are going all out to bracket 84, what you gonna do? And in the case of the NFC Championship game 2000 against the Giants, absolutely nothing. 41-0 was so damn embarrassing. Or in the case of 2005, when Moss is gone altogether, what are you going to do? Without Randy Moss, Culpepper was unplayable.